Chapter 7. Any one society is heaven in lesser form, and each angel in the least form. Any one society is heaven in lesser form, and each angel is heaven in the least form, because it is the good of love and of faith that makes heaven. And this good is in every society of heaven, and in every angel of a society. It does not matter that this good everywhere differs and varies. It is still the good of heaven. The difference is only that heaven is of one quality here and another there. So when one is raised up into some society of heaven, he is said to come into heaven, and those who are there are said to be in heaven, each in his own. All who are in the other life know this. Consequently, those who stand outside or below heaven, looking from a distance at companies of angels, say that heaven is in this or that place. It is comparatively like the governors, officials and servants in one palace or court. Although they dwell apart in their own apartments or rooms, one above, another below, still they are in one palace or court, each one in the performance of his own duty in the king's service. This makes evident the meaning of the Lord's words that in his Father's house are many mansions, and also what is meant by the dwelling places of heaven, and by the heaven of heavens in the prophets. That any one society is heaven in lesser form might be evident from the fact that there is in every society a heavenly form, as there is in the whole heaven. In the whole heaven, those who are superior to the rest are in the middle, with the less excellent round about in decreasing order, even to the boundaries, as may be seen stated in the preceding section. It can be seen also from this that the Lord leads all in the whole heaven as if they were one angel. The same is true of those in any one society. Hence, an entire angelic society sometimes appears as a one in the form of an angel, as I have been enabled by the Lord to see. In fact, when the Lord appears in the midst of angels, he does not appear thronged about by many, but as one in the angelic form. This is why the Lord is called an angel in the Word. And so is an entire society. Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael are no other than angelic societies, so named from their functions. As an entire society is heaven in lesser form, so an angel is heaven in the least form. For heaven is not outside an angel, but is within him. For the interior things that he has in his mind are arranged in the form of heaven, thus for the reception of all things of heaven that are outside him. These also he receives in accordance with the quality of the good which is in him from the Lord. From this he is an angel, and also a heaven. It can in no case be said that heaven is outside anyone. It is within him. For it is in accordance with the heaven that is within him that every angel receives the heaven that is outside him. This makes clear how greatly deceived is he who believes that to come into heaven is simply to be taken up among angels, whatever he may be as to his interior life, thus that heaven is granted to each one by immediate mercy, when in fact, unless heaven is within anyone, nothing of the heaven that is outside inflows and is received. There are many spirits who are of this opinion. Because of this belief, they were taken up into heaven, but their interior life being contrary to the life in which angels are, they began to be blinded as to their intellectual faculties when they came there, until they became like fools. And they began to be tortured in their voluntary faculties until they behaved like madmen. In a word, those who live wickedly and come into heaven gasp for breath and writhe about, just like fish out of water in the air, or like animals in the ether in an air pump when the air has been exhausted. From this it can be confirmed that heaven is within and not outside anyone. Because all receive the heaven that is outside them in accordance with the quality of the heaven within them, so in like manner do they receive the Lord, since the divine of the Lord makes heaven. So it comes about that when the Lord shows himself as present in any society, he appears there in accordance with the quality of good in which the society is, thus not the same in one society as in another. This diversity is not in the Lord, but in the angels who behold him from their own good, thus in accordance with that good. They are even affected by his appearance in accordance with the quality of their love, those who love him inmostly being inmostly affected, and those who love him less being less affected, while the evil who are outside heaven are tortured at his presence. When the Lord appears in any society, he appears there as an angel, but he is distinguished from others by the divine which shines through. Again, heaven is where the Lord is acknowledged, believed in, and loved. Variety in worship of the Lord, resulting from the variety of good in one society and another, is not harmful, but beneficial. For the perfection of heaven is therefrom. It can scarcely be made clear to the comprehension that the perfection of heaven is the result of variety, without employing terms in common use in the learned world, and by them showing how unity, to be perfect, is formed from various parts. Every unity has its existence from diversity, for a unity that is not the result of diversity is not anything. It has no form, and therefore no quality. When, on the other hand, a unity comes into existence from various parts, and these various parts are in a perfect form in which each attaches itself in series like a congenial friend to another, then the quality is perfect. So heaven is a unity resulting from the arrangements of various parts in the most perfect form. For the heavenly form is the most perfect of all forms. That this is the origin of all perfection is evident from all the beauty, pleasantness, and delight that affect the senses as well as the mind. For these exist and flow from no other source than the concert and harmony of many concordant and harmonious parts, either coexisting in order or following in order, and not from a unity apart from plurality. From this comes the saying that variety gives delight, and it is known that it is the nature of the variety which determines the delight. From all this, it can be seen, as in a mirror, how perfection comes from variety, even in heaven. For the things that are in the spiritual world can be seen as in a mirror from those that come into existence in the natural world. What has been said of heaven can be said of the church. For the church is the Lord's heaven on earth. There are also many churches, and yet any one of them is called the church, and indeed is a church, so far as the good of love and of faith rules there. There again, the Lord out of diversity makes a unity, thus one church out of many churches. The same too can be said of the man of the church in particular, as is said of the church in general, namely, that the church is within a man and not outside him, and that every man in whom the Lord is present, in the good of love and of faith, is a church. Again, the same can be said of a man in whom is the church, as of an angel in whom is heaven, namely, that he is a church in least form, as an angel is heaven in least form. And furthermore, that a man in whom is the church, equally with an angel, is in heaven. For man has been created that he may come into heaven and become an angel. Consequently, he who has good from the Lord is an angel man. It may be mentioned what a man has in common with an angel and what he has in addition to what angels have. A man has this in common with an angel, that his interiors are equally conformed to the image of heaven, and that he too, insofar as he is in the good of love and faith, may become an image of heaven. In addition to what angels have, a man has these things, that his exteriors have been formed according to the image of the world, that so far as he is in good, the world with him is subordinated to heaven and serves heaven, and that then the Lord is present with him in both worlds, just as if he were in his heaven. For the Lord is in his divine order in both worlds, since God is order. Lastly, it must be mentioned that he who has heaven in himself has it not only in the greatest or general things pertaining to him, but also in the very least or particular things, and that these least things repeat in an image the greatest. This comes from the fact that everyone is his own love, and is such as is his ruling love. The ruling love inflows into particulars and arranges them, and everywhere induces a likeness of itself. In the heavens, love to the Lord is the ruling love, for there the Lord is loved above all things. Hence, the Lord there is the all in all things, flowing into all and each, arranging them, clothing them with a likeness of himself, and making it to be heaven wherever he is. So it is that an angel is a heaven in the least form, a society in a greater form, and all the societies taken together a heaven in the greatest form. That the divine of the Lord makes heaven, and that he is the all in all things, may be seen above.